that Freddy takes off or something.
Well, we're going to discuss that in just a second. All right, welcome to another episode of TheOddSauce. And first, long-time viewer, first-time listener, if you're watching or listening from the podcasting, because finally, I'm a little under the weather. I'm a little sick. But we now have all our mics in, and we're going to actually be doing podcasting now. So I'm excited for it. We're excited to jump into it. I am the musical fro. I got Captain Tim, and I got awesome AJ next to me.
Hola, mi amo es AJ.
On our table, we're starting to get a little healthily into our spooky season. We got some Comic-Con exclusives.
That's what they're supposed to be. I may even ripped off though.
And how much did these 3 Beanie Babies cost?
No.
Enough?
An embarrassing amount. Not triple digits, but
Enough to put on a car?
no. Enough to go on a credit card and get a little call from the bank like, hey.
Why are you buying Beanie Babies? It's not the 90s
Were you
anymore.
purchasing black tar heroin?
No. I am in New Orleans, but no. Today. But, got Bonnie, Enter, and Spring. We're going to into Tim the lore of
Yeah, because I have
Bonnie.
no idea.
He's one of the originals. This is the one that play.
Oh, that's yeah.
This
I
is
remember
Spring
that
Trap.
one.
And then
No, I don't remember it at all, actually.
These two.
What's this one's name?
You call them something else.
You got Bonnie, Ennard, and Plush Trap.
No, this is Spring Trap.
That's Bobby.
Bobby. That's what you call.
That's
him.
Bobby.
Yeah,
That was his
Bobby.
name. I remember now.
Good old Bobby.
I remember he just looks different because
Yeah,
he's
'cause
3-dimensional.
three-dimensional. I think he's always been three-dimensional. But
Not in the board game. He was a little flat.
So let's go through a quick little discussion of the timeline. I'm gonna try to summarize
Yeah, you
Five
need to
Nights at
explain this
Freddy's.
to me.
and we're gonna mess it up.
I'm
so
gonna
no
try
hate.
to summarize Five Nights at Freddy's within 5 minutes, which it took Matt Pat 2.5 hours.
It took years.
Well, it took him years to study it, and because they have 24 books, there's a dozen games, even the inconsequential games like the mobile one, and
Yeah.
one. There was a little RPG one that came out for a small period of time.
FNaF
Even
World.
that one had lore in it, and it's not available anymore. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure.
So I need you to explain it to me like I'm 5.
All right.
But I have
So-
a 5-minute attention span.
Here we go. So there's this family called the Aftons. Now, at some point,
Captains.
after the Dust Bowl, everything, there was this traveling sideshow called Freddy Fazbear. It was a dancing bear.
Sure.
People ate. You got a ticket for a nickel, something like that. So as people were traveling west, you had that. Now, either William Afton, who is the purple guy, he's the one who killed all the children. He's the dark guy.
He's purple.
That's his character. He's this one.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is him.
but he's
So-
purple.
I don't know. It's
He's purple guy
he
made
created
purple
the
bunny
original.
became yellow bunny.
Yeah.
So
Color
This
theory.
this goes
color
for
theory. You know, the colors
Yeah,
that you see are not
sure,
the colors
totally.
that I see, but we all call them the same thing.
It's a different spectrum.
Man, yeah, man. Like,
Just
the
just like
colors you see might be.
many of us.
I'm so woke right now. Oh my gosh. It was probably them neighbors that were. Did you smell it when you walked in? When I would get root beer, we walked by and I was like, man, I'm hungry.
All the sugar cane from the root beer.
Sure, yeah,
Call
it was
it
that. But so you had this traveling sideshow that inspired one of the Aftons, either an older generation or the current generation later on, whatever, to make the Freddy Fazbear
Mhm.
pizza place. So you would have robot animatronics that would do the dancing, the singing, all that stuff, and then you would have kids come in. It would be family sideshow attraction, dinner and a movie, pretty much. But it originally was people in suits, and then you see a lot of theory stuff. The big professional people, they'll talk about, oh man, how many fingers and toes does it have? Because that means that it was originally a costume fitted to an animatronic, or it was, if it had 4 fingers, it was only made for an animatronic. Because some of them, like the Springtrap one,
Or made to where you can get inside.
yeah. Now, from there,
Mm.
you have, he possibly loses the business, goes out of business, and there's another competitor that opens up called Chica's Party World, and it
Mhm.
either does better or worse. That's the one thing
Makes
we're
sense.
not sure is one bought out the other,
Uh-huh.
but the person at the other one, his name was Henry, William Henry
Mm-hmm.
Harrison Ford,
President.
William Harrison Ford.
the
Oh.
one that got stuck in the tub.
What? Will Eyes Beneath. No,
Well,
Already getting off topic.
but
this is Robert Zemeckis.
you have so Chica, and that's the chicken one, the burnt Play-Doh looking one.
Yeah.
That's how Chica comes into Freddy Fazbear because they acquire her. Now you have William and Henry that are working together. No, William Afton and Henry
So the one that went out of business.
that ran. So Chica was the opposition that gets bought out by Freddy Fazbear's, and so now Chica enters the group because she was
Oh, is that the
getting
bird?
popular. Yep, that's
Yeah.
the bird.
I get it now,
That one
'cause
was
Chica.
made.
Yeah.
So Freddy was made by
The guy who
William
went out of
Afton,
business.
the William Afton,
Sure.
and then Henry was the Chica one. Now he did better with the animatronics, and he taught William how to do all the animatronic stuff, how to
Okay.
build robots. Dude was speed running a engineering degree pretty much.
Mhm.
Well, then he makes, because one of the kids die.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
One of his kids. Like,
Yeah.
One of his kids was bullied
You
by
get-
the little brother.
you get the fourth game where you have the little kid being bullied by his brother. They play all kind of pranks on him, and they scare him by putting the kid in the mouth of Freddy Fazbear and moving around and stuff. like that.
Fredbear.
Fredbear.
Yeah, it gets a little confusing because originally he was called Fredbear.
Frederick.
And then they called him Freddy.
Mm.
I don't know the whole reason behind that, but then this one used to look better, and it was put on stage with Freddy because this used to be Spring Bonnie and
Yep.
Fredbear, but they put the kid in the mouth of Fredbear, and the whole relating thing they keep going back to is if you get moisture on the spring locks, which is these that you can get inside of,
Or just move him around too much.
they lock up and break. So they put the kid in the mouth of the animatronic. He's crying in the mouth of it, and the mouth just closes on the kid.
Bites into his head.
For children, by the way.
Yep.
So tears are dangerous.
Yes.
So
Here's for fear.
Binding of Isaac level. Yeah.
yeah.
So
Dang.
the kid loses loses a chunk of his brain.
Goes into a
As
coma.
he's dying, there's a little Fredbear plushie that's watching him and stuff, and William Afton tells me he's going to rebuild him, do all this stuff. Well, then that goes into the mimic. I'm going to simplify this because I'm going to confuse
Keep
myself.
it to the games.
Yeah,
Just
keep
try
it to the games. So,
I don't think you should be telling a 5-year-old.
eventually what happens
It's
is William Afton goes insane, or he's just pure evil. He stuffs a bunch of kids into the suits, and
but he has
the
to-
souls of the kids. Yeah, so he like sneaks the kids. Like he was in the
This.
Springtrap suit. He was in the yellow Bonnie suit, and he would lure kids into the back room and then murder them brutally and shove them into a suit to hide them. And their soul melded with the metal and
I'm gonna
became
have-
something called remnant. So that's why they come alive at night. They attack people. They attack the security guard because they think the security guard is William Afton, but it's actually his son, Michael Afton.
So you play as the son throughout.
Michael Myers after.
Yeah. So the son visits one of his father's locations called Sister Location, and he ends up getting stuffed with Innard. Innard scoops out his insides and stuffs himself with him.
He
So
scoops
he's
out his
not-
innards.
Yeah.
Yes,
I get it.
So Innard's, because the thing is, Innard
He's not
can't.
physical. He's like made out of the wires and stuff.
He's
He-
metaphysical.
goes
Every time he
back.
tries to escape, they
I don't
capture
know.
him and bring him back because he can't blend in with society. So what he does is,
I
instead
wouldn't
of
blend in
scooping
looking
the
like
other
that either.
animatronics to sneak out, he scoops out a human. But some of the remnant gets left behind in Michael Afton
Mhm.
after he scoops him and jumps inside of him. So he lives even after Innard leaves his body. So after that, what he does is he starts hunting down his dad.
Like
Because
you
he
do.
knows that his dad is still around influencing, and he tries to get him and Henry do this big plan. They get all of the animatronics, all including this one, his dad Michael, who was in that one, because he runs back at one point. He's trying to get all the remnant back out of the suits to use them to
Yeah.
make his own monstrosity, and the souls of the kids come out and scare him, and he hops into a Springtrap suit, and he's scared. He's running around freaking out, and it latches in on him and kills him.
So this one right here. So what he was saying was how his son died. The same thing happens to him, except he gets trapped in the suit because it's one of the suits you can get inside of, and then I guess his remnant becomes
Yeah, he melds with the suit. So then
a lot.
the son Michael, this was supposed to be the end. There's each game is supposed to be the last game, by the way.
Yeah, he was done each time, the creator, and he came back.
And then he came back, and he's like, "But wait, there's more." So he says this is the final one where Innard escapes into the world, and then is just like, it's whatever you want it to be now. Then he's like, "But wait, There's more. What came after Sister Location?
After this location was Pizzeria Simulator, and that was the one
Pizzeria Simulator, where they get everybody together, and then he changes the story every single time he releases a new game.
it gets really, really confusing because it's all made up on the spot.
This is when Henry and Michael end up gathering all of the suits, all of the haunted stuff, and they burn the place down.
Everything that's left, they try to get it all together, and then they get them all. That's the real ending of the game, because now this game has multiple endings, right?
Each game has multiple endings, so you have to 100% the game to get any lore stuff. You have to
Yeah.
do the ultimate custom night stuff. But yeah, continue.
But Pizzeria Simulator, the hardest ending was getting all them in there, and you gotta press some code in. That was apparently really hard to find for a while. And then what's left of the animatronics, because you know how he was saying like there's a bunch of them and entered the remnant, a bunch of the kids fused and all that. So essentially, he burns the entire pizzeria down that this person makes. 'Cause you're playing
With all of
all
the
the
animatronics.
So they-
All of them. The dad,
he
Springtrap came back. All of them have been found, been brought to the place, and he burns it down, locks them all down. Also, Michael Afton kills himself in there. He stays in there with the fire so that all of them are dead. Henry was
Makes
also
sense.
in a hidden room and burned himself alive as well. As far as we know, it's
Yeah.
not official. He said he was standing around too because he wanted everything done. This was
Yeah.
this was the end. There's a big monologue. And he's like, the souls are not yours. He talks about the one that was his daughter, because at one point, William Afton takes Henry's daughter. After he lost his son in the mouth, he takes the guy who made that suit, Henry, he takes his daughter, and he stuffs her into the puppet. And then the puppet, throughout the games, you see in the background, there's all these little Atari style games.
Yeah.
You see the puppet guiding the kids to the suits and stuff, so like trying to protect them and all, trying to keep the kids inside from running outside and stuff like that. So, and then you have Gold Freddy, but we don't even need to discuss Gold
Yeah,
Freddy.
we're trying to push through.
Streamline it. So, that's pretty much where you're up to the third official ending, because 3 was supposed to be the last one. 4 was supposed to be the last one. Sister Location was supposed to be the last one. Pizzeria Simulator was supposed to end it all.
And then Ultimate Custom Night happens, which remember how all of them die, they get burnt, all the animatronics. So the guy right
Yeah, I
here that
remember.
murdered all the children, you play as him, but he's in a hell or something like that. So you fight like 50 animatronics at once. It's like insanely difficult.
All
That's
of
the way-
them, everything they ever made comes after you.
Yeah, everything he ever made. And that's it for that one. And then we get into
You get-
Security Breach, which we don't even know if it's canon or not. So I don't think.
Okay.
So it is considered canon, and then the books are canon, but they're a parallel canon. So
Oh.
they won't use the same names. They'll use different names. They'll use different things.
So it's like it's not a lie, it's an alternate truth.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's
Yeah.
also so he can get away with, because Scott Cawthon is known as, he's the one that's just like, here's the story. Actually, Matt Pat found out the story, so I'm gonna change the story, and I'm gonna change it again. I'm gonna change it. Good.
He does it a lot.
So he just keeps changing it every time people figure out something. So now he just keeps everything super empty, and then he just introduces stuff to, like, I really don't know if he actually has a plan anymore.
I think he's done because he's not making the games anymore because he gave up. He helped the movie. I know that's it. I'm excited for that. But do you have any questions, Tim?
Yes, I have a question. So I asked this earlier. There's 5 nights of Freddy's, but there's 7 days in a week. So does like Freddy get off on the weekends or something?
On Easter Sunday,
Like,
Christmas.
What? Like he gets
So-
two nights
Well,
off.
I guess the souls pray on Sunday.
Yeah. What about
Yeah,
Saturday?
Divine
Is that
Mercy.
like
Yeah, they're religious.
That's when they're watching cartoons.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Saturday morning. So actually, in the first game, it's 5 nights and then the custom night. Or is it? Yeah.
It's 5 nights, and then you have the 6th night.
Oh, there's a 6 night at Freddy's.
There's actually
Yeah.
7 nights in the second game.
7 nights at
Yeah.
Freddy's.
And the whole point is your character that you're playing as, which is supposed to be the son of the killer. The guy's
Pretty
like,
much, he's
why are you
going
still
back
here?
and taking all these security jobs at these open
You
places.
took my
'Cause
girl.
they took her dirt.
Took my girl.
Because he's trying to find his dad, the animatronic that has his dad in it, so he can destroy it.
yeah.
So he can end what his dad's doing. So
Tossed it
he
into the
keeps
fire.
going back in security guarding,
Destroy it.
and they all burn down after. Oh yeah, pretty much. But somehow they all make it back out because we can't have the end quite yet. So the first game you have 6 nights. The second game you have
7.
6 nights, and then you have the custom night on the 7th. Actually, all of them have the custom night on the 7th.
Does the first game have 7 nights?
You have the 6 night. No, you just have one custom night.
Yeah, because then the second game happened, which is my cousin got stuck on the 6th night for a long time because he wouldn't play with headphones. But he got stuck on that one. He finally beat it. There's a 7th night. I do know that. The custom night. The custom night is The custom night is crazy. Because the thing is, if you have to beat it on the hardest difficulty, because you can tinker with the AI's difficulty, and that's what the 7th night, and that's why they call it custom night. Because you can crank them all up to the max difficulty, which the game never even like touches on. The original game, the base game only gets to like level 13 out of 20. You crank it up to 20 with all the characters, and you got to fight them. But I do like some of the dialogue. It's hard to understand, specifically because there's so much going on within. It's been out for about 10 years now. It's been out for 10 years since I was in grade school.
Pretty much, yeah.
So the whole point is it's gotten really confusing. I'm glad you asked if Freddie was off on Saturday and Sunday. Yes, he takes the day off sometimes. They don't even state what days of the work you're working, or which days of the work that you are, which days of the week you're working. Man, see, I've already confused myself with all of it.
Well, you know, gotta look out for the little guy, you know.
Oh yeah,
Everybody needs a Sunday off.
Yeah.
But then you get to security breach. No, you get to Help Wanted. Help Wanted was their VR. They released the first couple games in VR.
and Scott was done at this point, by the way. Scott kind of like waved it off to this company called Skillwool.
I think I was too.
And what happened was the mechanics of the suit, he attached his soul to like the
Technology.
the
So-
technology of the suit. To,
So
like,
who
the
is
motherboard.
Freddy? Is it Mr. Afton?
No,
No.
Or
it's just
it's some
one of the
other
dead
is
children.
it like a demon?
Freddy is just the head animatronic.
No, but like who's inside of that? Like is there a soul of
It's a
a
kid.
demon?
One
One
of
of
the
the
kids.
Which
original
kid?
kids. I couldn't tell you. I don't
Look it
remember.
up. There
Is
are
it like the
names.
best
All I
one
remember
or
is that there's one girl, Charlie, in the gold.
are
Freddy
they
suit.
like equal?
I don't know.
Yeah, the one
Oh.
that matters the most is the kid in the golden Freddy suit.
There's a gold Freddy suit that's always in pieces and stuff here and there and plays an important role because that was a kid that William Afton literally just tortured to death.
Yeah.
Like he just went on a full murder rampage, and
Sounds
that's
like
the one that he was quoted as he was like, "Yeah, that's the one I shouldn't have done. I went too far with that one."
yeah,
And then
a little bit.
yeah, like she was locked.
and there is
out.
an animatronic called Lolbit.
Oh.
You said little bit. I don't even know what that one is.
Is that the Shadow Bonnie?
No, that's the female Foxy, I think.
Oh,
And
bro.
sister location. It gets so confusing.
There's so many everywhere, all the things.
Dude, there's like over like
Because
60 or
what William
70.
Afton tries doing is like building a human version.
Is
like,
he
it's
still
called-
around in the game?
So
He's
here's what
dead, but he
happens.
plays it.
He
He died.
puts his
It did.
he puts his soul, like he binds himself to the computer chips in this, and they pull it out to help make the games for Help Wanted. So the whole thing is that they're remaking
The
what
horrors
people
and the
said-
rumors.
said happened in the first games. It's like what people said happened, like what the news said that happened
Gotcha.
at Freddy Fazbear. They
Yeah.
made them into a game to make them more lighthearted and this, that, and the other. And they used computer parts from this suit. So he
Yeah.
possesses the game and then starts possessing people who play the game. And there's one girl named Vanessa who's a security guard in Security Breach, and he possesses her. And in Security Breach, one of your whole side quests that you can do completely optional is to free her soul from him.
Which
so
is the
that
true
she-
ending.
Yeah, she's able to like regain her mind.
How do you
She's
know
under
if
his
it's the
control.
true ending or not? Just
Because
somebody
they
else
have-
says, or do
Because the
you
next game,
just decide which one?
well, for Security Breach, you have 6 or 7 endings.
Yeah.
Because
the
none of
only
these sound
one-
like happy endings. They
Oh,
all
no,
sound
no.
like terrible
No,
endings.
usually the good ending is the bad ending. It's like
Yeah.
what would seem as the positive, like what the ending you want is not the good ending.
Yeah. All the endings
And
have
the
something to do with
souls was
Vanessa.
set free, and then they all
Never.
ate pizza.
Never.
The end.
No.
No. So
Of course.
after this inner
And lived
nonsense,
happily ever after.
So where is Innard versus the Blob?
The blob. I think Innard is the blob. I think the blob, which, like I said,
I mean,
I'm
if
not
he's
gonna
made
take
of
a stance
innards,
on it
he
in the
would be a
game.
is
blob.
just everything they burnt and melded together in.
Yeah. So remember how all of them died in that other game? So now,
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
let me
they
look it up
all
for you real
melded
quick.
together, and it's literally just this one blobus thing of like. So take all this.
Think
like,
of the smell, D.
yeah.
You haven't considered the smell.
the blob. Let's see if I can find
You-
it.
That
You
just
didn't-
sounds awful.
you You were only worried if you could. You didn't stop to think if you should.
So then there's this monstrosity, which is every single animatronic and like in all the games that come together.
It has one of the clown Freddy faces on it.
Yeah, because it's got Funtime Freddy and it's got the OGs in there. Big Bad.
You're not selling this to me, by the way. I'm sorry.
It's like you
But
unfortunately you
then-
just have to get into
But it's
it.
crazy because so now you have
The Blob.
Springtrap who's back, and then they have an ending with him, and he's kind of the final ending of Security Breach, even though Security Breach, I love and hate Security Breach because it's one of those games where they had really big aspirations and ambitions
They
for it.
messed
Huh.
it up.
And
Aspirations.
but they kind of bungled it
There it
really
is.
hard. You have all these security bots. The scariest thing in the game is Mapbot. So you walk out of the elevator and you're just like, oh,
Normal
you're
looking
looking on the
bot,
side,
freedom.
you see nothing, you're about to sneak out, and then it just grabs you, spins you around. It's like, take a map. So it gives you a jump scare. Out of everything in Five Nights at Freddy's, that scared me the most. I was not expecting it. It freaked the shit out of me.
Mapbot.
Yeah.
For the stream, it's a little. I don't think you can see it very well.
No.
Mapbot is just its own little thing.
No, but Mapbot spins you around, scares the snot out of you, and is like, take a map. Take a map.
That's it.
Take a map. Take a map.
Yeah, it will say it over and over again until you do it.
And you can try to look away, and it'll move in with your vision, and it's just like, no,
Yeah, you
take
can't.
a map.
You
Take a
can't
map.
even
Take a
move.
map.
I think.
But you have so many issues with it. Tons of glitches, tons of bugs. The security bots don't work well. The main animatronics teleport to you and are super weird. Freddy acts super weird. You'll have him running around. You'll call the Freddy from that one. And
Yeah,
you can
so
hop
this
in him
Freddy's
and he
good.
helps you. But it's all convoluted because you have someone controlling everything. You find out it's Springtrap in the bottom, but then you have the DLC where it wasn't Springtrap, it was something else. It's the Mimic.
Bro,
which
it's
the Mimic
so
goes into
confusing.
this whole other thing. So
Hmm.
Five Nights at Freddy's is one of those things that if you want to jump down the rabbit hole, it's super interesting to read and like lore, theorize, and all that stuff.
But it's so convoluted.
I don't want to
It's the
jump down
problem.
this rabbit's hole.
No, Bobby.
No,
No,
please,
not Bobby.
please.
Not Bobby.
Not
Not
Bobby.
Bobby.
But yeah, each time you're sitting in an office
Doing
and
security work.
doing security work, and you have to check the cameras. They move around, and you gotta slam the doors, do the lights.
No.
The first one's difficult.
I like fun games that I can run around and explore and
Yeah.
have a good time. I don't want to get murdered or like.
See, that's what I liked about Security Breach, though, is you were able to
It's
run
free
around.
roam. It's slightly free roam. It's like the game is split into multiple parts because the engine's not that powerful. Like you'll go walk into an elevator and you'll be stuck for like a minute loading.
Yeah,
Mm.
It's pretty
and
bad.
they'll play.
Do, 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 do. It's like the theme song that they gave
They were so
Freddy for
proud.
Security Breach.
Yeah, they were so proud of that one theme song because they used it for everything. But they're just like, fun fact,
Bears are extinct and their favorite food was pizza. It's like it doesn't make any sense. There's a lot of those.
bears, yeah,
Are bears
Bears
officially extinct in this universe?
I guess so.
And then there's a
Like,
theory.
before bears' extinction, their favorite food source was pizza sauce, and that is a fact.
It doesn't make any sense. And then like there's a theory that the kid that you play as, Gregory, is a robot or he's in a coma. You choose.
He's one of those kids that William tried to make to recreate his son.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's a program that's partnered up with the Mimic, but you don't know. You don't
Yo,
know. You
if
don't know
people are doing this to each other, no wonder bears are extinct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bears were like the
Bro.
dolphins in shoot, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. They're just like, I'm tired of this stuff.
Yeah, so long. Thanks for all the fish.
Thanks for all the fish.
Man, Five Nights at Freddy's is a mess. I'll be honest. Like, if you bring up one thing about a game, we got 20 things to tell you about it because each game, unfortunately, has so much to talk about. Like the first two weren't even that big of a deal. Like there was some
No.
theories. And they
So
just not confirmed stuff for the
Markiplier
third.
made the series
Big.
as popular as it is because
Yeah.
he started doing videos on it, and then it was a standard that every YouTuber would pretty much.
Do what
So-
Markiplier does.
Yeah.
That's what it was because it was a huge hit. I remember whenever it came out in grade school, it was warning. This is the scariest game I've played in years. It was just a picture of Bobby. Sorry. I forgot
Yeah,
about
it's Bobby.
And
Bobby.
that video has like 200 million
Bobby.
views. It's something crazy.
But the thing is, every time a new book comes out or a game comes out, the theories explode because it's just like, oh, here's all this stuff, here's all this new stuff, here's possibilities of what it could be. It's the fun of theorizing. You get to hype it up, but also he can just, because he has done it, he just changes the lore constantly.
Yeah.
Too. Because there was the Bite of 87, which is told to you in the first game, but then the one that you see in the third game is actually the Bite of 83. Fourth game. But
The one they
it's-
were bullying his son.
Now, the first game, you sit in the office, you only have 4 animatronics to worry about. Foxy, that's that little red one up there by the Coke bottle. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But,
Bobby, Chica, and Freddy in the first one.
and you just
There
got to
is-
sit still, check your cameras, you got the lights, you got the doors. The second one, you don't have doors. You're just in an open hallway, and you have to check vents, cameras.
That one's a prequel,
Yeah, and you have to keep winding up a toy box to keep the puppet from coming after you.
which is that girl that was murdered.
Did it have like the
Yes.
So when you
It is
wind
that
it
song.
up, if
It is
you let
that.
it go, it's the Toreador song
Yeah.
from Carmen, and you just hear brum bum ba-dum bum ba-dum ba-dum ba-dum.
No, that's Freddy's. Freddy's is the dun 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 dun, dun
Uh,
and then the puppet is the dun 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 dun.
Pop
Then
Goes the Weasel.
the weasel.
Yeah.
If you mess it
Definitely.
up, you hear. "Nah, nah, 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 nah." Uh-oh. That's
And then
whenever
it
you
comes after
know.
you, and you have
You have like no more than like 15 seconds, and then like you better hope that run was good.
yeah. You better hope
It's
you're in the
RNG
last-
based.
last couple seconds. Then that's like with the first game. There's so many times where you'd run out of power, and then
You had to wait.
you're praying because it's 5 o'clock, and it's just like
So you have to last from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. That's another thing. That's the base mechanic in every single game except for security.
because there's times in the first game especially where you would run out of, because everything you have power, and once you run out of power, all your lights go out, you can't close the doors, you can't protect yourself anymore, and then Freddy comes after you. So in the first game, there's so many times where it was 5 o'clock and Freddy's face starts lighting up because it starts doing
Yeah, the march.
that means he's coming after you, but it's played on a music box, so it's just creepy as all hell. So
Yeah.
that means he's coming after you, and there's nothing on your screen. It's black, and you just have Freddy's face lighting
They
up.
light up on the left side or the right side. And the thing, I think the reason why people like the game so much is because there's so much shit in that game that look phase.
Mm.
Because like I guess I was saying RNG, the toy box that goes off, whether that be the puppet or Freddy, it could either play the entire song for Freddy, which it goes on for like a minute, or it can go 5 seconds. That's it. Or it can go the entire time. Something people
yeah.
got addicted to was the RNG element of the game, like the puppet. Puppet can go for like 30 seconds, I
Mhm.
think. And then,
Oh,
or
yeah.
it can go for like 10 seconds. And people just love it, apparently.
That's what. So I don't get hyped over
When you
scary
s-
games. It's hard for me to get into scary games because it's like, oh, there's gonna, a jump scare. Oh,
It
my
has to be
gosh.
really good for
Oh,
me.
wow. But you're managing. All it is a stress manager, pretty much.
And it's addicting. It's like when you get good at it, you're like, oh, yeah. And you get comfortable, and then they throw something else at you. It's like a
That
consistent-
RNG can still mess you up
Yeah.
just a little bit. Like the second game, I'm super good at the second game, but it all depends. How much is Mangled gonna mess with you? How much is Foxy gonna mess with you at the end? Is a random Golden Freddy gonna show up? Because if Golden Freddy shows up in
You're
any of
dead.
the games, it's like a random insta kill, pretty much.
Is
Yeah.
it like Starman Freddy or something? Like
No,
it's
it's just they call him Gold Freddy, and that wasn't even his name
like he
originally.
can't.
No,
he
it
can't
was
like
die.
Yellow Bear.
He can just kill
There's
you.
nothing you can
Insta
do.
kill.
If you see a Golden Freddy, which is super rare to see in the first place, if
Mhm.
you do, your run's done. It's
Yeah.
done. But I get so involved in it that when I do get jump scared, even when I know it's gonna happen, it's like, yeah. I jump. I'm scared. I'm freaked out a little bit.
Yeah.
Then the third game, you're in a haunted house.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's the attraction from
Yeah.
one of the games, but because of it all burning down or something like that. So it's one of the games. They don't
Now-
state whether it's the first or second.
Is it
Yep.
the animatronics themselves that are possessed, or is it like
It's the animatronics
it's
that
just
possess
so
through the
these
kids.
animatronics are getting like relocated to a haunted house now?
well, what happens is they take the original location, I think it might be, and they turn it into a haunted house with tons
Because
of
of the rumor.
memorabilia and merch and stuff like that.
because
they
of the
turn it into a
rumors
haunted
they're writing
attraction.
off.
Well, they find one of the things is your first night is just boring. You just sit there, you listen to the guy talk all night. And then the second night, they're like, we found one. We found a real one. And they find Springtrap.
which the guy is in there and he's wanting the body out of it.
Yeah. So then he starts coming alive, and he'll climb through the vents. You have to use voice sounds to pull him to different parts of the location.
And the voice clip is a child saying hello.
Hello.
It's like hello,
No.
and he'll go run.
But
So
then
whose
you get
perspective are you playing this game from?
It varies.
You're just for the first all games pretty much except Security Breach. You're just the security guard, and you sit still. You can't move.
Are you the same security guard every time, or is it a different
So-
security guard? This is important to me.
The most common theory is yes, you're the same guy going under all these pseudo names, and you're William Afton's son.
Okay, I was about to
trying-
say, like, if
yeah.
so, like, you
You're the
continue
son-
to put yourself in this
Yeah,
situation
you're
for
the
some
son
reason.
trying to destroy the animatronics.
Okay,
You keep burning down locations, destroying them,
that
looking
makes
for
sense
this
to me.
one. So in the third one, it was supposed to be the end because he burns down that haunted mansion
Yeah, like you do.
with him inside, but he got out.
Yeah,
Nuke it from orbit.
Yeah,
The only way to be
just
sure.
nuke it, just nuke it.
it's
And
the whole mess.
oh yeah. So, but then you also have all the other animatronics from the first and second game that are hallucinations. So you have all these
Mhm.
systems, you have the air vents, you have all this stuff to manage as well. And if they hit you, they'll knock out your systems, and that makes it easier for him to come get you. Then you got the fourth game. You're just a little kid in a bedroom.
It's the kid that got bit. Remember the one we're telling you
So-
about? He's in a coma.
If you die in this universe, your soul can stay behind, or
No.
does it have to be attached to something to be?
I think it has to be
That's-
attached in some sort of a way. Never
That's
said
one
no.
of the theories is that remnant is whenever you go through something traumatic as you die.
There should be a mechanic in this game where, like, you can die and, like, become a possessed thing yourself,
That'd be
and then
cool.
you can take out other possessed creatures on a even level playing.
Oh yeah, fight and take their remnant. It's like
Yeah.
I claim your soul for my strength.
Yeah,
Well, that's the problem with the blob.
Highlander rules. There can only be one.
Yeah, that's the problem with Innard and the Blob is that when they put all these, when they use remnant from different things and try to blend them together into one, it goes insane because, and it's just uncontrollable because it's all
Sure.
these different souls in one setting, kind of combating each other and whatever. But yeah, that's
Pretty much it. It's really, really
Five Nights
confusing.
at Freddy. You got it all.
Yeah, totally. And I'm this many.
Are you ready for the test?
Which one's William Afton?
So William Afton is the old man who created Five Nights at Freddy's, and also William Henry Harrison slept in a bathtub with Michelle Pfeiffer, and he was the president at the time, and then became Bobby. And then there was this guy who left his innards on the bathroom floor when he got out,
They get on the
and
bathroom floor.
then this guy fell in a spring trap.
You know,
Yeah.
I got it.
You know,
I will give
the
you
next
that.
Game, the next, I think that's the most solid theory we have.
Chica
MatPat
has
is
no
wrong.
ass. I remember that too.
Yeah. MatPat is wrong. Markiplier is wrong. Who else is wrong? They're all wrong. Your theory is correct.
Yes. You're right here first, folks.
Harrison Ford, wow, bro. But it's a mess. The entire series is a mess. They've been going for 10 years. The guy didn't expect it to get this big. He made 4 games in 2 years. That's all you really need.
And then that was the problem with Security Breach is they said we're going to take a couple years to make this game, and he said no, I want this game done in a couple months. And then
They
they
shoved it
extended
out.
it. They extended it half a year. They extended a full year. It extended. I think it got delayed like 2.5 years total that they kept working on it. And the thing is, the place looks fantastic. If I were a kid, this looks like the Disney World of Chuck E. Cheese's. You have
Yeah.
this huge stage area. Then you have a whole putt-putt golf course off to the side. You have this kind of. Have you been to Disney? Buzz Lightyear ride. You have something like that that goes through above the golf course. Then you have, in the books, you had a roller coaster. You had a whole pipe maze, like playland maze, pretty much. And let's see what else they had.
Sun and Moon, and
You had bowling. You had a daycare center. You had.
you could live in this thing essentially.
Yeah.
You could.
And it had a whole
You can also die
underground
in it.
networks. But the problem is that they took the original location and that
Tell me
apparently
I'm
kept.
wrong.
But they took the original location that apparently kept sinking underground every time they burned it, and they built something on
They
top.
built
of
it in Florida.
Then the next game they built on top of that one. Then the next game they built on top of that one. Apparently,
Built it in the swamp.
yeah.
What happened?
Swamp.
That's what
They
happened to
just kept
Jazzland.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Man, it is.
So I actually snuck in there once.
I know people do that.
I have tons of pictures, and then when I tried to do it again, they have tons of security. But there's a bunch
Yeah.
of movies that were filmed there,
Mhm.
like
Didn't they like film
Percy
part
Jackson?
of Zombieland or something there?
maybe I can't
Like
confirm that
part
one.
of it?
But Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters, was
Sure.
filmed there.
Where was it?
Jurassic World.
So the old Jazzland, Six Flags in New Orleans, they built it in a swamp, like a
They built it
swampy
over a
part,
swamp.
and it was
So
like
it's a
stinking like so many
platform.
centimeters a
It's
year.
a platform over a swamp because there were spots when I went that the ground was falling in, and you had
Mhm.
like this much space between just water.
It was already like going down, and then Hurricane Katrina hit, and they were just like
Yeah.
they cut their losses.
So whenever it flooded, all their equipment was ground level or built into the ground where they had solid ground, and so everything flooded. You
Yeah,
had protection from
Low key, that
I
know what
this
you
is
guys are
what
talking
I was
about.
thinking of when you were describing this to me though, because like, I went to Jazzland when it was still Jazzland before it got bought out by Six Flags when I was a kid, and they had a lot of like, kind of like low budget rides that
Oh, yeah.
were like Louisiana themed. Like there was like a Jean Lafitte ride,
Oh yeah,
and like there was stuff.
so the Jean Lafitte became the SpongeBob 3D thing. You had the Muskrat Scrambler that kind of stayed there. And
I'm
think
so
they kept it under the
jealous.
same name.
Oh yeah, I remember
Then
that
you had
one.
the
Yeah.
Zephyr,
The Mega Zephyr, yeah,
Mega
I
Zephyr
remember that.
stayed. That was the big wooden coaster, and it had a record, something for a wooden coaster. I don't remember what it was, but that one they broke the walkway to it because people kept going climb on it. So we had to climb through trees and like hop from tree to tree to get to the walkway for that one because it's all water and like there are gators hanging around there too.
Mm-hmm. Gator done.
Gator done.
That
But
wild.
they took the Batman ride from there because that Batman ride is a standard Batman ride that's at almost all the Six Flags. But that one in particular is at Six Flags Fiesta in Texas, and
I've never been to Six Flags, by the way.
the Alamo.
I've been wanting to go for a long
The
time.
Riverwalk. Shoot, I can't think.
I don't remember.
Is it still worth going to Six Flags? Is that a thing that people do?
Yeah. So I went to the one in Atlanta, and they have the Flight of Superman where you lock in like this, it locks in your legs, and then it puts you like this.
Ooh.
And you're looking forward, and it's like you're flying. It was the coolest roller coaster I've ever been on. 10 out of 10.
I grew up on
I'm partial to the
like,
Hulk
for-
myself.
the parks, like the Disney parks, Universal. I didn't actually go to a lot of them. We go to Disney maybe once every few years, and then we stopped doing it. We started going with family. But I like Universal more because the rides are more thrill induced. You got more movement. You've got things that make your tummy feel funny. And I was told that Six Flags is more thrill based, right?
So Disney is a mixture of you got the rides, you got the shows. Six Flags there's no shows, there's not.
I know they got parades though. They got parades
I
with
would
Looney
say
Tune
you go
characters.
to Disney World for the park experience, and you go to Universal for the rides.
Yeah,
More.
Universal has
And
some
and Six
fantastic
Flags
rides.
is a bite-sized Universal, pretty much.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Because you can do a Six Flags park, depending on which one you go to, you can do Six Flags in almost a day. But every time I've gone recently, I went for my birthday last year, and that one we went to Arlington, Texas one. I mean, half the park was running, and so half of the big coasters were running, and the lines were insane, and everything kept breaking down. We were all pretty frustrated, and then you couldn't use cash in the park. You had to have a card. So it was.
They have a few in Texas. I'm looking it up now for
They
Six
have,
Flags.
Yeah, they have one in Santa Fe.
San Antonio.
Oh yeah, San Antonio. That's not Santa Fe. You have Six Flags Fiesta, which is the one in San Antonio. You have Six Flags over Arlington. Which
But can you
is,
knock it out in a
definitely
day?
one
You just
around
knock it out in a
Austin,
day?
right?
Yeah,
all the-
go there for open, and you can
I feel
go.
like I went to that
Depending
one
if you're there
as
on
a
a
kid.
slow day, you can ride everything multiple times. If you're there on a slightly busy day, like you're gonna.
Can you hit everything even if it's busy?
It depends. We missed a couple rides because some of them just weren't working, and we were doing stuff all day.
I'm
But
down to go, bro. Like,
yeah.
I would take a weekend out.
One of my
and do
goals
this.
is to ride every roller coaster in America.
That's dope. I
Yeah.
do that with you. Like
I have a checklist, a very long checklist. I'm like maybe 1% done with it, maybe 2 or 3.
it's
but-
$75 a day. That's not
Yeah,
bad at all.
no,
but we're
no.
going out of town for this. Keep in mind. So it's gonna be
You gotta travel,
$5.
but the one in Atlanta is 7 hours, between 6 and 8 hours, depending on
I just
traffic.
it's 8 hours right now.
And when we went, it was during Ida because I was just like, man, I just got paid and I just ran. I had run from after Ida. I ran from Hammond, New Orleans.
Not sponsored, by the way.
Brought my family. We went to Beaumont, Texas. So all my family's there. Once we were done at that stay, we brought everyone to my family's hunting camp in Mississippi that still had power. And then Louisiana was just, everything was off. Gas, food, everything. Well,
It's actually $55 right now, by the way. Sorry to interrupt you, but like
they have a
throwing
ton of,
tickets
they
out.
have a ton of sales right now because they're in their off season.
I remember like Jazzland used to have a promotion, or at least, yeah, it was either Jazzland or Six Flags when it became Six Flags. If you like brought a Coke can with you, it was like $20 cheaper.
What?
For some reason.
Because Bayou,
Like when you went to buy a ticket, they just had like some kind of weird promotion.
Blue
like that.
Bayou in Baton Rouge, you get $5 off if you bring a Coke can
Yeah,
for some reason.
it
I
was
don't know
like
why.
It was way cheaper if you just brought a can Coke.
I guess because they serve Coke and that's one way for them to something. I don't know, but yeah, Six Flags is fantastic. I want to go back to the Atlanta one because there was a couple things that we didn't get to ride, and
We could also go to we should go to the Atlanta one because we could also go to like the Coke bottling.
Do they have
Oh,
exclusive
Coke World?
ride?
Have that
the World
there.
of Coke.
Yeah.
They have the World of Coke. It's not as interesting as you think it would.
I think it would be interesting
Because
maybe
when
you
I
might
went-
not be interested.
So, I went to it
Oh,
because I was super excited because you get to try the Cokes around the world, all the different flavors.
yeah.
But they didn't do like they used to do. One of my buddies used to go every year, and he said you would have just Cokes. It was all the different flavored Cokes. You had like a watermelon Coke, a cinnamon Coke, a spicy Coke, you had
Cocaine Coke.
pretty much a
Spicy
battery
Coke.
acid Coke.
Original Coke.
Original flavor.
The original,
Sign a waiver.
the original flavor.
I'm awake.
No,
But whenever we went, there wasn't Coke flavors. It was all just the drinks that Coke produces around the world. So it was like some like Fruitopia stuff and
Oh, Fruitopia.
Yeah,
That's done.
It was
okay.
stuff that's
you
like
can't really get
fruit-
that anymore.
yeah. It was different fruity drinks. It was different Sprites. It was different whatever. And it's like, no, I want all the different Cokes particularly. And more of it's, they have tons of samples of all their products that aren't doing well. Like all of their, like Coke actually has a version of LaCroix.
really?
Yeah.
I did
don't
not
remember
know
what it's
that.
called, but it didn't taste good.
Because it
Yeah.
didn't do well, probably.
Yeah. Nobody,
Um,
I don't know who are the people that keep LaCroix in business, but I feel sorry for them because that is
I
just,
don't like LaCroix at
LaCroix.
all. Not sponsored.
Yeah.
we went through a phase where my wife really wanted to have that in the house, and I couldn't really.
I mean, you have to love yourself to an
I
extent.
think she just wanted something in the fridge that I wouldn't drink all of, and that's
Yeah.
what. Yeah.
That's actually good. At least he's honest.
Because if she put something in there that I like, she wouldn't be able to drink any of it because I would just drink all of it.
But
So,
as far as Six Flags go, hopping back on that, do they have exclusive rides for each location? 'Cause they have 27 parks.
Yeah, they have
in the US.
they have rides that are special to each location. Yeah,
Like, is
so you
there-
can go. There's an app you can go and look and see like what rides they have. But the Batman ride from Six Flags New Orleans or Six Flags Jazzland is what I think it was called. Is actually it got moved.
it's not
and it
open,
got
though.
Put in where did we just say Six
San
Flags
Antonio.
Fiesta San Antonio? It got brought to the San Antonio location. Now,
are there any rides at any of the Six Flags locations that are reminiscent of Five Nights at Freddy's? We're gonna circle back.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Let's circle back to it now.
Do they have any animatronics for Six Flags?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
I remember.
They do have some in the Hall of Justice. That's like their Buzz Lightyear ride, pretty much. Like you go, in your ship.
That's
and
cool.
they have
Hall of Justice.
they had a they have a big Hall of Justice. You go in and it's just you sit in the little shoot 'em up thing, and you have a gun that you're shooting enemies as they pop up.
Because Batman uses guns.
You mean like the Toy Story Mania ride, whatever they call
Pretty
it?
much.
Yeah, and they also have a Buzz Lightyear one that
Oh,
did
okay.
like a few years ago.
That one specifically, the Buzz Lightyear. That was the first one, and that one I loved so much.